And we're back. I cannot wait to share this episode with you. One of my favorite topics to go over, manifesting. It is something that I have been doing for years now. I would say probably close to about 15 years. I've been in the manifesting business. I started out doing the vision boards, and that kind of just spun into other things, especially when the vision boards started to work. They really have been a game changer in my life, and I've started adding new tricks and tips into my days to help me manifest and create the life that I want to live. That I know that I have control over how I show up, and that I can truly raise my vibration and attract the things that I want into my life, instead of living on this defense where I'm constantly trying to counter off all the other things that are coming at me and push them away and block and defense. I'm on the offense, and I am able to go out there and navigate through my life. Sure, things don't always go the way you planned, but we have the ability to shift, and we have the ability to allow for things to come to us that we are trying to manifest. And I hate to use the word try, or it was like, you don't try, you do. But when we're manifesting, it does take practice, and sometimes we fall off course and we got to get back up. So this podcast is going to share with you some tips and tricks on how to manifest. If it's something you've never done before and you're like, what is all this talk about manifestation? I don't get it. Or you're somebody who was quick to get on The Secret when that came out, and you watched the movie and you read the books and you're all about like, okay, the law of attraction, but yet nothing is actually working, and you're trying to figure out what you may be doing wrong. I hate to use the word wrong too, but at the same time, there are some tricks and there are some do's and don'ts when it comes to manifesting. So we're going to go into it, and I'm going to introduce to you my girlfriend, Sheri Mahnke. She is somebody who I found on TikTok who instantly I was attracted to because she had the same mindset as myself. And she shared a little tip and a trick that I just fell in love with. And if you're in our Soul Shack Sisters group, you may have seen me share it as well. I took a spin on it, and I added a little of the moon water influence when I did mine. But she's got some really great ideas, and we're going to bring light to some situations that we may be encountering throughout our day when we're trying to manifest, and really help fine tune and key into and hone in to the actual frequency that we want to be on when we're looking to attract and manifest abundance and miracles into our life. So I can't wait to get started. Let's get manifesting. I love it. You guys, I am so excited to introduce to you guys Sheri Mahnke. I met her on TikTok. She was somebody that I was instantly attracted to. I like to say the universe attracted her to me when I was scrolling through those feeds, and I saw you, and you were doing a affirmation manifestation with water, the glasses. Oh my gosh, I just loved that because I always do like rituals for like the new moons. Excuse me. And I also do different types of, manifestations, but I've never thought about doing it with the water, and the power of water and how it attracts that energy. I was like, that's just freaking brilliant. So of course I had to follow you and reach out to you. And I was so excited when you accepted my invitation to be a guest on the podcast. A lot of the people here are all about manifesting, and so I thought this would just be perfect. So thank you, Sheri, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it as well. Absolutely. Happy to
Yes, I
share.
love it. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and like where you started in your life and where and how you got to where you are today?
Absolutely. So I am a wife, happily married of 30 years. I have two amazing kids. I don't even want to call them children anymore, but they are. They're 19 and 21 years old. I'm a dog mom, and I worked in the dental field for 32 years. I absolutely loved my job. I loved what I did. And about 5 years ago, I had the curveball thrown to me. And I left my job that day after I had a situation happen at work with the person that I had worked with for 32 years. I left that day thinking to myself, my worth is more than what somebody can put a dollar sign on. And I came home and I told to my husband that there's more in me than working in the dental office. And anyway, about a year and a half ago, I resigned from my full-time dental career. And what I do now is I help people. I serve people with their health and their wellness. And I've also tapped in a little bit more to the manifesting, something I actually thought that many people knew a lot about, but apparently they didn't. So I started a TikTok account last February. So it's been about a year. And it's blown up with tips and tricks that I share about manifesting. And sometimes we forget that our knowledge is valuable to other people. So today I have my own business. I help people with their health and their wellness. I help people with manifesting miracles. And I'm so happy to be here and share with you today, Tonya. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I am so excited. Yeah, I tapped into the manifesting too several years ago through my journey with spiritual healing and awakening, and just gravitated towards meditation, and then started, as you start to go into those things, more and more things are revealed, and you get down that rabbit hole of, oh wow, this and that, and the more you learn, it's just it's so amazing. And the manifesting part just was something to me that came natural for me, and like you just said, I thought everybody knew about it for the most part. I mean, especially when that movie and the book, The Secret, came out, that really helped, I think, awaken a lot of people to this law of attraction. But some stuff you shared, I was in your class yesterday. Sheri does these awesome free manifesting not courses, but the class that you did. And you're sharing your 5 tips on how to manifest. You had shared in there about manifestation is not just about asking for something and then doing nothing. Like, there's more to it there, right? And I think The Secret, they kind of left that part out. They made it sound like you could just ask for a car and it would just magically appear. I don't know. So many people are out there.
The gold coins falling from the sky.
Like, I'm going to write these things down, and then they're just going to be. It's just going to show up. But there is a lot, to it, but not hard. It is easy stuff. And I loved how you brought that up last night when I was in your Zoom. And it was so spot on. So I was hoping that you could kind of share a little bit about that. Of course, talk about your manifesting water thing. That was awesome. But yeah, I would love to hear more, and I'm sure the audience would
Absolutely. Too. So what is manifesting? What is it? What the heck is manifesting? It's actually a really simple definition. It's the practice of thoughts, making them real. And the interest actually in manifest in the last year has actually skyrocketed. I've been practicing it for well over 20 years. Again, something that I think I thought I was just lucky.
Right.
And people say, oh, you're so lucky, you're so lucky. And that's kind of something where you dive in a little bit deeper and know that it's not all about luck, it's about manifesting. So I'm going to explain it to you today and help you to practice it, to put this into your life. If you've been manifesting for some time and it's not working, hopefully we can reveal some of the mistakes that maybe you have been making. Now, I know Tonya asked me to explain a few things here. What are the pitfalls of manifesting? Now, don't confuse wishing with manifesting. Wishing, hoping, dreaming is quite the opposite actually of manifesting. This is actually on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Have you ever wished for more money, maybe to be financially free, to take vacations when you want, to buy the things you want, to not ever worry about money, to be able to just pick up, donate however amount of money you want because you have so much abundance, and you actually maybe wish to have money. I wish I could win the lottery. I don't know how many times people say to me, Sheri, I just want to win $1 million. And so wishing is actually very different from manifesting. This actually amplifies the lack of. When you're wishing for something, you're actually amplifying that you have lack of. Wishing is actually giving your power to an outside source. Manifesting is that you declare financial freedom. Declare that what you want, taking action, like Tonya said, that empowers you to give you the ability to get what you want. One of the misconceptions of manifesting is people struggle with their own self-doubt, their excuses, and their fears, and their stories. Do you want me to just keep chatting away here, or do you want to interrupt?
Killing it. Yes, keep going. I love it. It's so true. I'm just like,
Okay. So She's taking it all in. So one of the biggest things when I talk to people is, what do you want? What do you want? And people don't know what they want. Do you want to travel? Do you want to have a family? Do you want to have children? Do you want a dream home? Do you want to be financially free? Do you want a vehicle? Do you want gold coins? Do you want to build an orphanage in South Africa? Do you want money? What do you want? What do you want? Do you want a career? What do you want? What do you want? Take a minute, close your eyes, and just think to yourself, what do I want? What do I want? And then, do you believe it's possible? Do you believe it's possible to receive it? Because if your answer is no, we need to go back and start with something smaller that you want to manifest. If you've never manifested before, a little thing I teach in my class that Tonya was at yesterday is start with something small, like an object, like a bird, like a flower, like a flag, like a coin, like a text message from somebody. That is believable. And once you start to manifest more and more things, you will find it's so much easier to manifest things.
It's so true. I have to tell you, not to throw you off here if I'm cutting in, but last night in that class, you had asked us to manifest something small. And I was hungry. It was time for dinner, and my husband was out working on a project with somebody next door. I was like, man, I would just love for my husband to like go get dinner. Like, I want pasta. I'm craving like Olive Garden. I want pasta. And would you believe, of course you will, that he texted me that he was on his way to Olive Garden? And I was like, huh. I just loved it. I meant to message you earlier that night afterwards. But yeah. Yes. Anyways, it worked. Okay, cool.
That's awesome. I do get messages every day from people that they manifested things like, you know, money or objects or messages, or just, it's amazing. And I love it. So if you're following me on TikTok, definitely, if you've been manifesting things, connect with me, because I would love to hear those things. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. So what do we want? And now we need to, the steps that you want to know is to visualize. And that's one of the action steps that Tonya said. So you want something, but what do? There's action steps that come with it. So when you want to start to manifesting, you have to believe and visualize that it's possible, and know that it is actually coming to you. Preparing your mind to help you take action to get those things that you desire. Anything that you want, you can have. The brain can't actually distinguish between a real experience and a detailed imagined visualization. Yeah. Visualization is actually the most underutilized tool that you possess. Right. You can do this. You know, did you know that successful people, athletes, entrepreneurs use this skill every day? Visualization. There's actually a study done on basketball players where they take the team, divide it into three, and they take the first set of them and they practice on the court for 1 hour. The second group is to not touch a ball, but to visualize 1 hour going through the whole drills, the practice. The third group is to not touch a ball, not to think about basketball. At the end of that week, the changes in the improvement between the first group that was on the court for an hour, the group that visualized practicing but didn't touch a ball, was only 1% difference. Yeah, wow. Your brain does not know the difference. So spend time each day in visualization. Maybe it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You have time to spend in manifesting. It's not just thinking about it, it's actually doing it. So spend 5 or 10 minutes each day in visualization in the morning and at nighttime before you go to bed. It's easy, it's simple. There really are no excuses that you cannot manifest things. The other thing you want to do is believe. Believe that the thing that you want is coming. You know, be specific about what you want. And this is my great example, kind of almost like what Tonya said. So she was desiring or craving this pasta. Now you need to be really specific when you're asking the universe, God, source, energy, whatever you want to call it. When you're asking for things, be very specific. And my example is, we go out for lunch to a restaurant. The waitress comes to the table and says to me, "What would you like for lunch?" And I say, "Lunch." And she says, no, what would you like for lunch? And I say, "I would like some lunch." She asked me a third time, "What would you like for lunch?" And I say, "Lunch." Okay, so she leaves. Do you think the waitress is going to bring me back anything? Do you think the waitress is even going to come back? I don't know. I'm starting to have doubts. I'm starting to have fears, and I'm starting to be a little bit anxious, not knowing if this is even going to happen. So The opposite is to be specific about what you want. What do you want? So the waitress comes back to the table. She says, what would you like for lunch? I would like a Greek salad, no tomatoes, dressing on the side, tuna sandwich, toasted on brown, glass of ice water. She takes my order, she leaves. Do I think she's going to come back with my food? 100%, I believe.
Right.
Do I think she's going to bring me exactly what I asked for? 100%. So I was very specific about what I wanted. I believed, I asked, I believe it's possible it's going to come back to me. So kind of an analogy of how manifesting works. Ask for what you want, believe it. I could taste that salad before it even came. So feeling that feeling, and that's another big part of manifesting. So no doubt, no fear that this thing is coming to you, and you can actually practically taste the food. Be specific about the details about what you want to manifest. Let go of the outcome and know that it is coming. When and how is not up to you. You have got to surrender and leave yourself from
Yes,
that.
and I want to really emphasize those two things, the feeling, the feelings like you were talking about last night. I just loved it. You were so spot on. And like, how is that gonna feel when you receive that, as if it already has happened, because really it has. It's just a matter of it getting to you into your possession, right? So how does that feel when
Absolutely.
you've reached that thing? Like for me, it's about writing my book and actually getting an agent and publishing the book. So I don't just think about that happening. I think about how does it feel to be a published author. I've even taken a temporary book cover that I made for my book, and I put it around another book, and I have it on my shelf behind me actually, so that when I see that book, when I come into my space, I look at it like that's my book, it's published, and I feel how that feels, and it's amazing, and I know it's coming. I've already got connections that I never
Absolutely.
would have thought. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's happening. And so it's not about how it's going to happen and trying to now navigate those waters, right? Which I know you're going to talk about. And I really want people to pay attention to this part, because this is where I think a lot of us get tripped up. We're like, we put it out there that we want it to happen. And then we're like, okay, now how is it going to happen? And then we're like manic manifesting. We're trying to force something to where the universe is like, whoa,
Yes.
let me do my job here. Like, still show up, do the work,
Yes.
write the book, right? But let the universe do its job.
100%. And exactly what you said, it's being in that emotional state. And emotions play a big part in manifesting. So what I recommend is to start your day every day being grateful. Before your feet hit the floor, I want you to think of 10 things every morning that you're grateful for. And the next morning, I want them to be 10 different things, because your first day, you're going to be like, I'm grateful for my family and my house and my career and blah, 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 the basics. The next day, I want you to dive in a little bit deeper. So not the same things that you were grateful for, even though you are. Think of 10 different things. The minute your eyes open up, what are 10 things you're grateful for? You'll start to get really, really deep and dive in a little bit more to you can actually change your vibrational frequency to a place where you can manifest easy. Some people wake up miserable and sad and angry in the morning. So you can change that just by one of those tips is by doing gratitude. Another thing that I use to change my emotions is walking in nature, but it's not always possible for people. Laughing and hugging, those are great ways to change your emotion as well. And you need to dive in to learn how your emotions feel. And emotions are normal. And now I'm an expert in essential oils, and this plays a big part in my manifesting because I can change my emotions. We all experience sad, happy, relaxed, disinterested, bored, gloomy, grieving. It's normal to experience those. When we get caught up in grieving or anxiety or sadness or boredom, these emotions will drag you down. They will stop you from manifesting. So I'm an expert in essential oils. I use essential oils because they are a natural substance. They're actually the most natural substance known to man. And they can change your vibrational frequency, which our vibrational frequency runs as a normal human being between 62 and 72 megahertz. So we want to try to raise that. And when we raise it, that's where we feel happy, excited. When it's lower, then it goes down into that anxiety, into that sadness, into that grieving, into that, life kind of crappy feeling. So we want to change it. And the thing that I love is the oils. You can use them. And the ones that I love come in a little roller ball. So you can apply them quickly to your wrist, to the back of your neck. Something really simple and convenient. Put them in your purse, in your car, in your lunch bag. They work within 2 minutes into your bloodstream and 20 minutes into your body. They are safe, they are effective, they are affordable. They are so easy to use and they work so fast. I know many people are a little skeptical about essential oils, but I'm telling you, they are super amazing for helping you manifest, to change your emotions, to speed up your manifesting. So if you guys want some more information about that, we can provide that, maybe a link or something for them after about that. They are game changers. And like Tonya said, gratitude, your emotion, when you're manifesting, it's important to feel. So you're visualizing that feeling of what you want, but now you need to feel it in your heart. So you want that emotion to be so strong, like maybe you have a dog. Tonya and I just said we both have dogs. You know, you pet your dog's face or rub its ears and you just go, oh, it's the best thing in the world. Your kids, your husband, that hug, that feeling you should have while you're manifesting the thing that you desire. When you come out of a visualization, you should have a smile on your face. It is so, so important. Exactly what you touched on there. And the last thing Tonya said was take action. So she wrote the book, she put the cover on it. The reason she put the cover on it was so that she could be reminded of the emotion. It was a reminder, like a vision board. It reminds you of the emotion. So on that thing, she's like, oh yes, that's how I'm gonna feel. It's a reminder. A vision board with pictures is great, but there needs to be almost like some words on that vision board so that you can be reminded of the emotion. So the last thing I want to talk about is taking action. And so you want to manifest something. I want a new car. So you close your eyes, you visualize yourself, you're sitting in it. Maybe you go to the dealership, you go sit in it, you test drive it, go find out about how much it costs, what the insurance is, see yourself. Oh yeah, you remember when you were a kid and you sat in that car or that airplane and you could feel your hands on the steering wheel and you were racing this car around. I want you to feel that feeling and take action. So I want a car. You need to take action. The make, the model, color, go looking, see what's for sale. Even if you're not going to get it right now, you need to take that action. Train your mind and prepare your mind before you take these steps. Change your thinking. Locate the power inside of you to do the work, not just, luck to show up.
Right.
And also your thinking, your negative thinking can affect your action too. Maybe some of you say this, oh, it's just my luck, I slept in. Oh, it's just my luck, I lost my keys. Oh, it's just my, why do you talk like that? Negative words affect your,
of course, this always
happens to me.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why does this always happen to me? And your thoughts actually become things. So if you start your day by sleeping in the morning and then you stub your toe and miss your, you drop your lunch and spill your coffee and you're late for work, you're actually drawing all this to you because your thoughts become things. So change that negative thinking. And I'm going to teach you 4 words here that you can use that I use every day. And I want you to do this every single day to change your thought process. So I want to manifest something. I close my eyes, I visualize it, I'm feeling the feeling, and this is the words I'm going to say. It's on its way. There's no negative, there's no lack, there's no worry, it's on its way. So say these words every single day, it's on its way, it's on its way. Use them as an affirmation. Remove any obstacles, remove self-doubt, remove resistance and overwhelm, retrain your mind, your nervous system, and your spirit to get the things that you desire. To inspire you to get the things that you want. Change your thinking. It becomes a habit. It's like practicing like a new sport. Maybe you've never done yoga before and you practice and practice and practice. You get really good at it. Same as manifesting. It's not just a one and done. It's something that you need to practice every day. Your thoughts become things. A thought won't just achieve on its own. You have to ask, you have to believe, visualize, and properly possess the things for you to take action to move you forward.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, so true. Yeah, I was just going to...
And the last thing that Tonya said, she wanted me to dive into was wait for it to arrive. Allow the universe to take over and to be patient. You need to surrender from the outcome. Sheri, I'm trying to manifest this. It's not working. Your doubt overrides the law of attraction. Your doubt overrides the law of attraction. I can be impatient. Tonya can be impatient. We all can be impatient. Where is it? I manifested this thing. I thought about it. I felt it. I done it 3 times. Where is it? And it may not even come in the form that you're looking for. So just surrender from the outcome and know that it's on its way. Some things manifest in days, some things manifest in months, some things manifest in years. So just believe and receive and know that it's on its way.
Right, exactly. That is so true. That is so true.
I'm going to share with you a couple experiences like of manifesting. I honestly probably could spend a whole nother podcast telling you about all the things that I have manifested, but I want to share with you a couple experiences that have happened in my life. And you kind of actually, if you look back in your life, sometimes, you know, I do manifest something every day, like something small every day. I manifest larger things, and then I have some bigger goals, and I'm always, you know, setting those larger goals. So we bought our first house, my husband and I, and we had lived there for 7 years, our first house. So you know how special that is. And it was in the spring, and he said, you know, why don't we're thinking about having a family, and about maybe in a couple years we were going to try to have a baby. So he said, why don't we start looking for a bigger house? So I said, oh, this is my first house, like the love in this house, and I had it all decorated the way I loved it. And so he said, let's just put it up for sale. We'll see what happens. So we put the house up for sale, and it sold the next day. What have we done? So anyways, we called a real estate agent, and the person that wanted to buy the house wanted it in 60 days. So the closing was in 60 days. So we started looking for houses. We looked, you know, farther away from where we wanted. We looked here, we looked there. We could not find anything we wanted. We were very stressed out during this time, constantly looking, and we would walk into houses and go, no, this isn't for us. This was too far. This was this. There was always something that we didn't like about the house. The house that we have now is the house that we got. And so we came and looked at this house, and the real estate agent messaged us back the next day and said, oh, somebody's got a conditional offer in on the house. We're sorry, but usually conditional offers for financing do go through. So just keep looking. So put it on the back burner. We kept looking and looking and looking. And I remember it was a Friday, and I received a phone call from the real estate agent. She said, Sheri, are you sitting down? The couple that put the offer on the house upon the financing, it fell through, and the house is still available. Did you just get chills?
Yeah.
Because I had those chills. We got that house in 45 days. So we moved in, and happily ever after. And you know, sometimes you wonder why things are happening, and you don't like the process that you're going through, and they might feel uncomfortable, but just be rest assured and have confidence and believe that the universe, it has your back. It really does.
Yeah.
I have manifested so many things. Again, like I said, it probably could be almost another podcast, but I manifest every day, something small, something big. I have manifested my dream business. I've manifested people into my life. I like Tonya. You know, I have manifested so many amazing people in my life. Text messages, vacations, financial freedom, opportunities, people, events, resources. So it's time for you guys to start diving into manifesting. You can start day one or one day. Just do it and keep practicing it.
And keep practicing it. Exactly. That's so important. You know, that you mentioned too, and I love it because I'm doing a challenge on unstucking yourself, and it's a 21-day challenge. And I love how you talked about the 21-day thing. You know, just creating that habit too, and getting in that habit of doing it, because then before you know it, it's just something that you just do, like brushing your teeth. You know, it's just part of your routine, and it is so important. And I have to stress again on that it's not the how it's going to happen. It's just that believing and feeling and trusting that it's going to be. It already is. And using those affirmations of that you're appreciating it as it's already there. You know, I have, and that kind of stuff, not the I wants, not the neediness, because needy equals more needy. If you're from a place of lack, the universe is going to give you more things to lack, and not, you know, those messages aren't being received. So those little tips and tricks, I think, are really what helps shift from the, you know, not receiving those blocks that people may have been seeing. And especially when it comes to the how it's going to happen, because you talked about it with the house. And I love that, because when we're in the middle of manifesting something and the universe is out doing its thing to make it happen, we might look at it like, oh, this isn't working, and give up hope, and then stop doing what we were doing, right? Stop putting out that energy to attract that like thought, and then we could miss
Absolutely.
the opportunity just because it didn't look
Absolutely.
like the way we thought it should, right? And
Yes.
letting it
Yes.
just be and unfold, it's amazing. And I love one thing too, Mel Robbins had spoken about in a book, that you might have a plan, a goal, a thing you're trying to achieve as plan A. And by the time you receive it, you might be at plan G, right? Because it kind of shifts and things maybe won't look the way you thought they should. And it's not because you're not worthy of having it that way per se, but it's because the universe knows better. The universe knows, right, what is actually to come. So just having that trust and believing and letting it flow to you. Yeah, it's so important.
It's true. We try to control the outcome, and that's very hard to surrender that part. And often, if you actually look back at things in your life, you'll go, oh my goodness, like that person showed up in my life for this reason. This opportunity showed up. You know, when I was leaving my job, I wanted to work part-time, and I ended up having to change the person that I was working with. And I was like, oh my goodness, like what have I done here? Like it was such a terrible thing at the time, but it was actually a really easy exit for me when I did leave. But
Yeah.
at the time I thought, I came home, I said to my husband, like, what have I done here? But it was good. But at the time I didn't understand it. And I just said, you know what, just go with the flow of it. It's okay. Again, we have a plan always in our head. We have a destination where we want to go, but how we actually get there, you know, you don't think twice of, you know, if I wanted to come and see Tonya, to drive there or to fly there, I would just figure out where she lived and a time and a day. And I wouldn't really worry about, you know, we plug into our GPS or our map quest on our phone when we get into the vehicle and it takes us there. I don't worry about it. I don't worry about the roads and the stop signs and the traffic lights. I don't worry about it. I just know that that's what I want. And I need to trust and surrender that that GPS, the MapQuest, whatever that app is I'm using, is going to get me there. And we do. We do it all the time. You don't think twice about putting an address in and going like, maybe I shouldn't go that way or that way. No, just trust. Trust. And that's huge.
Yeah, that is true. That's a great visualization, right? So you put in your navigation, your destination of whatever you're manifesting, and trust that it's going to guide you to that point and not question. Even if there's a detour and you're like, wait, but we should be taking that freeway.
Yes.
Telling us to go around. There might be a reason
Yes.
why it's telling us to go around this way. Don't force it. Just, yeah, go with
Right.
it.
You might meet somebody along the way, or there might be an opportunity along the way, or a resource along the way that you will come across
Yes.
to that you didn't know about. Like it is incredible if you can just let that go.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is, you know, when you, whatever the outcome is, the end result, that's where you need to spend your time in. How is it going to be when I meet Tonya? How's it going to be when we, you know, I come to her house? How's it going to be when I give her a hug? I need to feel that.
Yeah.
Feel the feeling like as if it's happening.
Right.
So, but to get there, exactly, let the universe do the work. And we do. We trust our GPS, so why not trust the universe?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know, you talk about that, and I love it. I have a podcast. I had done an episode called "Shift Happens," and
Hmm.
in that episode, I talk about shift shapers, and they're not the shape shifters, but shift shift shapers that really shift your direction. I always have to like be clear about that. I'm not talking about shift shapers here, but but those shapers that they help shift your direction. So you find these people along your path that are helping guide you. That I feel like the universe they're putting them in your place for a reason, because they're going to help you get a little bit closer. They're going to maybe teach you something that you still need to learn.
Yes.
The roadmap to enlightenment, right, is through picking up those tools along the way to get us to where we're going. And you're a prime example of that, and just how we all just kind of meet each other through. I mean, I was just the other day, I was talking to somebody about wanting to learn more about shamanism, and I had just said it. It was something that was on my heart. And the next thing I know, I'm getting contacted by somebody who's actually a very world renowned shaman. Like, where'd you come from? I don't even know you. Like, this is crazy. And you're reaching out to me? Like, crazy stuff like that, that just happens when you just trust and believe and allow for it to happen. It's so crazy. But one thing I wanted to ask you, because this has happened to
Yeah.
me. So I've started off manifesting where I started off with the small stuff, right? Whether it be a feather or a coin or a bird or whatever. Like, there's times even I'll ask the universe for a sign if I'm trying to figure out what
Yes.
direction I want to take or whatever. I'll be like,
Yes.
give me a sign. So if I'm on the right path, have it be a banana, because
Right.
my book is titled It's Not About the Banana. And I was like, so that'll be a perfect sign. Just give me a banana.
Perfect.
And so I would start seeing bananas in the most random, weird places. One time I was at a store and I was looking for some tea. And out of all of the hundreds of boxes of teas, there was this one tea box that had a banana on it. And it was in the weirdest spot. It was the only box, and it was just a banana tea box. It was weird, right? Stuff like that,
That's your sign.
you just can't make it up. And so when that happens, I'm always like, thank you. I'll look up at the sky and just be like, thank you. Okay, I know I'm on the right sign. So sometimes a quick way to manifest is just doing that. Asking the universe for a sign. Just give me a sign if I'm on the right path. I want to see this, blah, blah, blah. But my question is, so as you start to manifest those little things, and then you go and you start to manifest the bigger stuff. Like for me, it was, again, the book. I go back to the book because I had created a vision board like I do every year, and I'm very visual on my vision board. So it's got a lot of imagery that when I look at it, it helps me get into that place where I am feeling that feeling. Yes, there's other words on there like create with purpose, success is easy,
Yes.
start your mission now, stuff like that. But I've got these, visuals to where when I see it, I am there. And one of them was, to be published by Hay House. And Hay House is really well known for, transformational, spiritual type
Yes.
books and stuff. If people don't know about Hay House, but I put Hay House on there. That was the one that I wanted to be published with. And then the next thing I know, I'm receiving this email to be a part of the Hay House writers community. So I'm like, sure, I'm writing a book. I need to learn more about writing books. So I go in there and I'm a part of it. I'm an active participant. Then they have these like live Q&As with Kelly and Reed, who are huge parts of Hay House. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh, okay, I'm going to go on this Q&A. Tons of people are on there, right? Little did I know that they're actually live on there and they're calling on people. I'm like, well, this is
Really?
crazy. Yeah, and so
Really?
you can raise your hand if you want to be called on. And sure enough, yeah, they call on me. And I'm like, are you serious right now? I didn't even know what to say. Because like Kelly's talking to me, Reed is there. I'm like, you're like the CEO of Hay House. And you're looking at me and you're actually saying my book title is coming out of your mouth. And at that point, I'm getting a little choked up. I freaked out. I freaked out. So there's those times when you're manifesting, and even though you believe it and you want it so bad, when it starts to happen, it can scare you a little. What do you do when that happens?
This is what happens. You start to not think you're worthy. You start to think and you self-doubt yourself that this is for somebody else, not for me. I've seen it happen to so many other people. It's a little bit of self-doubt, even though it feels so good and you're on that call and they're talking to you and talking about your book. An affirmation is a good thing to say, I am worthy. I am worthy of this. And we don't give ourselves enough credit for who we are.
Right.
And that's a simple little thing. And you are worthy. That book will be published. And it's even just, you have so much to offer to people. And know that. Be confident in that. It's not a selfish thing. It's not a selfish thing. You are worthy. It's hard for people to look at themselves in the mirror and say, I am worthy. I am worthy. It just changes the whole perspective of things.
Yes, yes. So definitely when you're having those moments of doubt, that's when the affirmations are so powerful. Having a
Yes,
good 5 to 10 that you write down and you stick all over the place that you are repeating all the time. I have my clients do it in the mirror. I have them look at themselves. They're like, it's
for
so
sure.
uncomfortable. fault. I'm like, I know, but you need to be eye to eye with yourself and look at yourself,
Yes.
your soul
Yes.
self, get in there,
Yes.
say it over and over again. Because, yeah, imposter syndrome does, come into play, and we would be lying if we said it doesn't, right? Like, that's part of just our makeup. And unfortunately, the false lies that we've been identifying as our truths for
Mhm.
so long. And then these
Yes.
things start coming, and you will kind of have those moments of like, whoa, what just happened? I don't know. This is too much.
Because you know what? Your brain has about 60,000 thoughts a day, and about 50,000 of them are negative. So
Right.
it's easy to go back into like, who am I? Who do I think I am to write this book? Who do I think I am? And it is a lot of self-doubt. You probably were brought up as a child, not just you, but myself, like we can't afford this. You're not smart enough. We can't go there. And all of those things that have been embedded into your subconscious that you go, who am I? Am I worthy of this? That's for
Right.
somebody else. And
Yeah.
again, looking in the mirror, eye to eye, and we do it. We all do it. It happens to me as well, where I go, no, I am worthy. I am enough. I am capable. I do have knowledge. I do have value to give to people.
Right.
And it's really just confirming that self with yourself.
Absolutely. So those that are out there listening, if you have that issue, there's another episode I did called Watch Your Language, and it talks a lot about that. It's a good one to watch. I would say listen to this podcast on repeat to really get down the habit of manifesting. And if you have some doubts, the Watch Your Language and the
Perfect.
Shift Happens, those are some great ones to kind of add to your tool bag as you are learning about manifesting and applying these tips and tricks that Sheri is talking about, because it really does work. And just like Sheri said, we could do a whole new podcast just on the things that
Those
we've
things that happened.
manifested. I
Yes.
got my
I
husband.
mean,
I got my husband off a vision board. It's like no, I really did. I wish I had that I've got 3 of them up right now. I've got the one from 2020, and then 2021 and 2022, like all up here. You can't
check,
see it.
check, 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 check.
Yeah, but I'm like 2020 was like 2020. Let's talk about that, right? Not no. So I'm like, well, I'm going to piggyback on 2020 and go to 2021 and then add and just watch and see how it grows. But the one with my husband, no joke, he was on there. Not him, actually him,
Amazing.
of course,
But
but somebody that really, epitomized him, if that's the right
you're
word
a
I'm
soul
thinking.
person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then and the house and the backyard and even some stuff about all of it. And I already had a home that I owned that I also manifested. But the backyard and some of the things that I was wanting were in the house that he had. Because I ended up, once we got together, ended up selling my home and then moving into the home that I had put on my board. It's crazy stuff, but it works. It's just so
It
cool.
is, and it's almost like when things happen like that, you just got to take a moment and be grateful for
Mm,
anything that comes your way. I do manifest money every day, whether it's a small amount or it's a coin I find, or whether it's money in the bank or a check from somebody. Every day I manifest money. This morning I went for my walk, took my dog, and there was the dime looking
mm,
up at me. And some people would walk past it, but I put it in my pocket, and I'm so grateful for that. And I
yeah.
have a jar full of coins that I manifest, like nickels and dimes, and people just walk over that. But I just sometimes people think it's not enough. That's not what I want. It's not enough for me. And if you can't accept a little bit, the universe isn't going to give you more. You've got to
Right.
stop, be grateful for the small text message, the free coffee, the $5. Before you get more, you need to know that you're worthy of that and be grateful for it. And then more and more and more amazing things will happen to you. There's so much in the universe, and your desires are the size of a speck compared to what the
Right.
universe has available to you. So know that nothing is outrageous, it's believing it that's
Yeah.
possible for you. And a lot of things, I've manifested things where I go, that's not for me. That's probably for somebody else. And I couldn't do that. It took me a while sometimes to say, no, actually, you can do this, or you can have that. It does it, and myself as well. And I'm sure yourself too, where you go like, oh, this is like a big step here. But,
Yeah.
definitely know that you are worthy and anything is possible.
Right, exactly. And we're all here to enjoy life, and we're all here to live in abundance. It's not selfish, right? There's
Not at all.
nothing negative about it whatsoever. And that's, I think,
Nothing.
another thing that people get caught up in. Like, oh, that's materialistic, and oh, that's this and that, and it's not. If you're coming from a place, like you said, of gratitude, and you
Yes.
are also coming from a place of service and giving back, like, and
Yes.
also knowing that every single person on this planet is capable of achieving and receiving the same things, but we don't all
Yes.
want the same things. So that's where there's plenty to go around, number one. But if we're all here for a reason, to be loved and to receive love and live in abundance, then we're just following the law of attraction. We're just following the law of the universe. That's all we're doing. It's not selfish.
One thing you mentioned, Tanya, was I challenge you guys to give to somebody today. Give back to somebody today, because number one, it's going to change your vibrational frequency, and actually what you put out, more comes back to you. And I don't mean donating $100 to somebody or $1,000. I mean a compliment. Give somebody a text message that say, hey, you know what, you are so grateful that I have you in my life. Buy somebody a coffee in that drive-through. Do you ever get that drive-through? You pull up, you get your coffee, and they said, so the guy in front paid. Like, it was like a $2 coffee, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so nice. Like, it makes your day. It makes your day. Why not? Why not give the cashier a tip? Why not give back? And it doesn't have to even be where there's acknowledgement needed. You can just put that $2 somewhere. You can give. You may say, I don't have enough money, but you can give back 25 cents. Give back, because I'll tell you, when you do those little things, more will come back to you. Tap into that, for sure. Tap into that.
Yeah, it's a great, great, great point, and I love that too. Yeah, being of service, serving others, it does. It raises your vibrational energy. It raises their vibrational energy, and that's the kind of that level of where we want to be going and shifting to. And it can be just something as simple as a compliment or holding the door for somebody behind you. Those little things. People all want to be seen and feel heard, and just those little tiny things make such a huge difference. Such a huge
It's true.
difference. So
It's
before
true.
we wrap up, Sheri, I was hoping you could share with them your water
Oh,
trick.
yes. Okay, so the 2-cup method, I don't know if you guys have seen this before. If you go to my TikTok is called Made for More 1111. So you can go follow me there. Okay, perfect. So it's actually, I think it's in the pin post. So what you're going to do, you take 2 glasses of water, and you have your current reality. So whatever you have now, wherever you are now, and your desired reality. So what your desired reality, you want it to be, you want it to look like, have that thing that you want to manifest. So you take the current reality and you put on there, with a little sticky note, your current reality and what it is. So write that down. And my example, I think when I did that, I'm just trying to go back and think, I think I would say I made it simple to manifest more followers. That's what my current reality was. So I had so many followers, and I wrote that down on the current reality on a glass with water. I have 1,000 questions about it. It can be tap water. It doesn't have to be moon water. It can be sparkling water. It has to be water in the cup, in a glass. If you have a metal glass, you can use metal. So in the glass, put the sticky note on it. What is it? Hold it, close your eyes, and visualize your current reality. Thoughts, feelings. Take a minute and hold that. And then you're going to have another glass of water with your desired reality, what you want. So I wanted to manifest, I didn't even know what it was, like so many more followers. That was my example. Put the sticky note on the other glass of how many I wanted, held that, and then I held it, visualized, asked, visualized, felt it. How's that going to feel? What's that going to do for me? And then you take your current reality water and you pour it into the desired reality. And then you drink the desired reality water. It doesn't have to be a quarter of a cup. Drink all the water, half now, half later. What do I do with the sticky notes? It's really simple. Don't make it too complicated. It's going into the what do I have, visualize it, feel it, and then take your current or desired reality. What is it I want? Feel it, believe it, visualize it, and then put this in and then go back and drink it. So that's the 2-cup manifesting method. You can do it for anything. And try it, and then send me your results. Go back and watch the video. It's really explained well there, but yeah.
Absolutely, and I'll post your TikTok in the notes on the podcast. And the reason why I really love that water part, and I think you even talked about it in your podcast, or excuse me, the TikTok, was that water is energy, right? And it's a
Yeah.
conductor of energy, and our thoughts are energy. So when we are putting those thoughts and that energy into the water, we are infusing that high vibrational energy into the water, and then we are drinking it. And then our body is absorbing it, all of our tissues, all of our blood, all of our organs. We are absorbing that high vibrational energy, that message is in it. There's a book called Messages in Water. I love it. I always talk
Okay.
about it all the time. It's the coolest book where this gentleman takes images of water that he talks negative to and then freezes it and then takes photos of the crystals, right? And then he'll
Oh,
have water where he talks positive, loving things into the water, freezes the water, and then takes a photo of the crystals. And
oh,
the crystals on the negative water, they're not pretty. The
really? I think
crystals
I've
on the
seen photos of that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, and the crystals on the positive water, they're beautiful crystals. And that's water, and that's what our body is. And women, we're about 60 to 70% water. So again, even self-talk, right? When we're talking to ourselves negatively, that is infusing in our body. So drinking that water and doing that, that was just to me was just game changer. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
It's
Plus
a
you're
bit
getting
of a
hydrated when you drink.
visualization, right? So you can see it too, right? It really shows
Yeah,
clear. And some people need to, like Wayne Dyer says, you need to believe it to see it. And a lot of people
right.
think I need to see this before I can believe it. And I say to people, you shouldn't have to always see it to believe it, because you know what? Gravity is
Right,
real. It's real.
right,
You can't see gravity, but it's real. So when you're
right.
manifesting, know that you need to believe it to see it. And that's what you said with the water. You actually can see something. So then you have that
Mhm.
belief, but you have to go back a little bit deeper and believe it, that it's possible to be able to receive it.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I love that with the gravity thing. And same thing with like electricity. I don't know how it works, but I know it does. And just because I don't know how it works doesn't mean I don't turn on my lights.
Yes,
Like you just know it's
exactly.
going to work when it works. So that is so
Exactly.
awesome. Sheri, thank you so much for your time today. It was such a pleasure getting to talk with you more about this thing. Like my favorite thing next to just meditation that I love to talk about. So this, I really appreciated it. And I'm sure all the listeners did too. So for those listening, like I said, I'll have all the notes in the podcast recording for you guys to click on her links to her podcast and to you have like an email and stuff I could share with them. And
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
okay, perfect. So I'll put that on there. Anything that you want me to be sharing with them, I'll make sure that that is in the notes so you guys can click on there and you can see all her stuff and her essential oils that she had talked about. Essential oils is a huge part of it too. I'm a huge advocate with essential oils, being an Ayurveda practitioner. We're all about the herbs and the natural parts of things and oils, and all of that is so, so, so important. We'll put that in there as well. And yeah, thank you again so, so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great pleasure. Honestly, we could chat for hours. Just
Oh,
definitely have that
yes.
connection. It's been amazing. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Wow. I just want to thank Sheri again for taking some time out of her day to talk with me about manifesting. I know I learned a lot from Sheri, and I've been doing this for quite some time. Manifesting, it is a practice. It's not something that you do once and you got it perfect and you never have to think about it again. Manifesting is something that you're always working on, and it's always something that you can do and improve on and add to. So with me, it started off with vision boards, and I found that that worked so well. Like I shared in the podcast, I even found my husband that way. You can really create the life that you want, and you can attract the things that you want into your life when you are putting out that energy of a high frequency, like attracts like type of mentality. It can be done, and we're all here to help you manifest. I hope that you found some things in there that you can start using today. If you have any questions, if there's anything else that you want to work on a little bit more, you can always reach out to me as always, and I'll put all of Sheri's contact information in the notes to this podcast where you click play. Below, there should be some show notes in there with some references, and I'll have her information in there too. So with that being said, said, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you're able to start creating and manifesting miracles in your life. And a fun trick to play on to start today, ask the universe to give you a sign that the universe is there listening to you and supporting you, and ask for a sign, whatever it may be. As I shared, mine's a banana. Yours could be anything you want it to be. Whatever comes to your mind first, go with that. And then just allow the universe to bring it to you. And if you don't get it right away, don't worry. That's when you just start to feel and believe what it would be like to actually have that thing come forward, to have that thing show up, that you know the universe is listening, because it is. And it does have your back, and so do I. So until next time, you guys, I cannot wait to hear from you. Our next episode coming up is going to be Unstuck Yourself. That's going to be a fun one. I know a lot of us have been feeling stuck in place, and we're looking at what direction we're going to go now that all the mandates have been lifted and we don't have to wear masks. And we're like, okay, wait a minute. Who am I again? Where am I going? What do I want to do? Well, we're going to do a podcast all about unstucking yourself if you're feeling that way. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Love and light, ignite.